More win. The Yankees and Orioles meet 6 times in 10 days. Baseball Night in America sends you to Camden Yards for a division matchup in the always tough AL East.
The weather is ideal. It is a beautiful night here at the end of June in this battle in the AL East between the Baltimore Orioles and the New York Yankees. Glad you're with us on Baseball Night in America. A good matchup coming your way tonight on Fox. And now welcome inside the broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Joe Buck. Tim McCarver's coming right up. Eventually we'll see Ken Rosenthal. This is a good matchup. And for the Baltimore Orioles, a winning team last night, beating CC Sabathia, who had not allowed a hit through 5 innings. The Orioles turned the tables on Sabathia. They've turned the tables really on the AL East. And, Tim, this is a Baltimore team that is really well put together and fun to watch, and they're a confident bunch.
It's nice to see a resurgence between the fans here in Baltimore and the Baltimore Orioles. It was missing for about a decade, but it's almost like a gathering storm. The difference between the Orioles this year and last year they thought they could win. This year they know they can.
On the other side, the question for the Yankees, maybe that question right there, can they win? And if they're going to win despite all these injuries, in your mind, how do they best go about that?
Well, it's amazing that they're 5 games over 500. When you consider it, last year they bludgeoned everybody with the home run, leading all of baseball in home runs. And this year, if they're going to win, the best chance for them to win is to give the lead to the bullpen and let them handle it from there.
Their bullpen is very good. The question is, can they get the lead with this makeshift lineup? We get ready for baseball in the AL East. It's the Yankees. It is the Orioles. 2 teams looking up at the moment at the Boston Red Sox in the division. Should be fun. It's Baseball Night in America, and it's yours. Next on Fox. On a Saturday, it's Baseball Night in America. 87 degrees, partly cloudy. They get some rain here tomorrow, but tonight it is perfect in this beautiful ballpark that opened in 1992. The opening pitch brought to you by Budweiser from May to July. Buying Budweiser benefits military families. And while the left-hander Zach Britton gets ready, we'll give you the Taco Bell starting lineup for the Yankees. Brought to you by Taco Bell. Sometimes you gotta live Moss. They lead it off with Brett Gardner. Then it's Jason Nix in the 2 spot. Robinson Cano, their biggest threat by a mile, hitting third. Vernon Wells backs him up. He is ice cold. The DH batting cleanup. Then it's Ichiro in right. Zoilo Almonte is in left. David Adams at third base. Lyle Overbay batting 8th, and Austin Romine is giving Chris Stewart the night off. And here is the left-hander Zach Britton, who had a rough spring, and he's trying to get on a roll. He's been better of late and brings with him that record with just 1 win.
Well, the key to young Zach is to rely on that sinker and get ground balls early in the game. And for the Yankees, yet another left-hander. This is the 26th left-handed pitcher that they have faced this year. That's 8th in the American League. They're 15-12 against left-handers, but they're a team that has a very difficult time with left-handed starters.
Boston Red Sox have already lost today, so an opportunity for one of these 2 clubs to gain a game in the division. The Orioles defense looks like this. McLeod in left, Adam Jones in center, Nick Markakis in right, with Machado, one of the best young players and a rising superstar, at third. J.J. Hardy at short, Ryan Flaherty at second, Chris Davis at first. What a year he's having. Wieters does the catching for Britton. Digging in is Brett Gardner, who, along with Robinson Cano, has been somebody that the Yankees have been able to rely on here, at least in the month of June, and it's been a lean month swinging the bat for the Yankees. We saw Buck Showalter in his 3rd full year at the controls here with the Orioles, and we enjoyed our talk with him before the game. We'll talk a lot about that visit, and off we go. Here is Britton's first, and it is upstairs for a ball. It's Gardner, then Nix, then Cano for the Yankees, who are 5 games over 500, but they've lost 4 of their last 5. And they lost here last night with Sabathia on the mound. Gardner gets under it. Fly ball into shallow right. Coming to get it, Markakis. 1 out. Talk about the lean month of June for the Yankees and swinging the bats. It has been rough. An 11-14 record during the month of June. The team average, the home runs, the strikeouts are up, the on-base percentage is down, and they started the day a season high, or worst, however you want to look at it, 5.5 out in the AL East.
It's amazing they've won 11 of 25 of those games.
Here's Jason Nix. He's the shortstop. Robinson Cano will follow him. Nix is hitting .240. Doing all he can to replace Derek Jeter, who turned 39 on Wednesday and has his 3,300 plus hits, awaiting the nod to get into a rehab assignment and get into real games. Here's a pop-up right side. That ball will stay in play and eventually be caught by Chris Davis. 2 out. We'll give you the 4 keys to the game.
For the Yankees, it's the only thing to be, is realistic. You got to hang with them and hope you get some of the guys back. Not all of them. That's unrealistic. For the Orioles, Camden Yards giveth and taketh away. And what we mean by that is the Orioles are unusual in that they lead the American League. They lead the majors in home runs. And they also lead the American League in home runs yielded at this ballpark. That is a very unusual tandem. The last team to do that, the Brooklyn Dodgers in 1950.
Here's a 2-hopper off the glove of Davis. It'll trickle down the right field line, and Cano is on to extend the top of the first. Davis got a glove on it. That ball got on him a little quicker than I think he expected, and it got through him. We'll wait and see what they rule it.
Chris has worked very hard on his defense. This is a ball he should have handled, but he had to reach for it to his left. I think it'll be a base hit.
It is. The official scorer is closer to Chris Davis than he is to Zach Britton here in Baltimore. So instead of an error, it's a base hit. And the inning continues. If you think about it, with the Yankees lineup the way it is, it's remarkable that Cano has done anything.
It is.
This season, hitting .281, 16 home runs, 47 RBIs. His walks are up. I mean, if you look at this lineup with Vernon Wells, who is just ice cold behind him after a good April. There's no Teixeira. He's finished for the rest of the year, and who knows about his future with wrist surgery facing him on Monday. I mean, the scouting report has to be, if you give Cano anything great to hit, you may find yourself back in AAA. Here's a pitch over the inside corner in the count 0-2. There's just no reason to challenge Cano with no protection behind him. You look at those numbers, 137 for Vernon Wells since the middle of May.
Cano hitting second earlier in the year.
Here's the 0-2 from Britton. Ball one.
The reason I say that, Joe, is they're the 3, 4, and 5 hitters for the New York Yankees this year. Their batting average is .212, the meat of the order. That's shocking to me.
All those numbers, average slugging, on base percentage, all last in Major League Baseball for the heart of the Yankee lineup.
Unbelievable.
Here's a 1-2. Right side, that ball might trickle through. It does. Cano will stop at second. A little chunker through the right side, and Vernon Wells is on to keep this first inning alive for the Yankees with Ichiro coming up.
Well, what a crack scouting report that was. I said that the ground balls were going to be so important in this game, and Britton has retired 2 Yankees on pop-ups, and the 2 ground balls have gotten through for hits.
That's all right. You're already in.
Spending hour after hour on those scouting
You're
reports, and this is what
already
happened.
They can't take it away from you. 2 on for Ichiro. We've had a thrill with a walk-off home run against the Rangers earlier in the week. Yankees lost that series. It was on Tuesday night. The Yankees lost that series, dropping the final 2 of that set, and they lost here last night. And it's almost like losing 2 these days when Joe Girardi has Sabathia on the mound. Those are the games they have to win. 2 on, 2 out in the 0-1. That caught the outside corner, strike 2. And here it is against Tanner Scheppers. And that, the walk-off home run, and a reason for the Yankees to celebrate at home. Two on, 2 out in the 0-2 pitch. Down and in, ball 1.
Ichiro's having such an odd year. His batting average so much better against left-handed pitching. How about that?
At the age of 39, he can still do it. He waits for a 1-2 pitch and takes ball 2. Ichiro has averaged, since coming to the major leagues here in the United States, 1.35 hits per game played, which is 3rd best all time, and has loved hitting at this ballpark. Here's a 2-2 pitch from Britton. Looked like a quick and easy first, and this is going to be tough. Britton has to wait, can't get it. Infield base hit, bases loaded. 3 straight singles.
Now this is a Baltimore chop. Ichiro from Japan with a Baltimore chop. 3 straight hits for the Yankees after 2 outs.
That had to feel like an eternity for Britton with that ball coming down, and he did a nice job, made it close, but at 39, Ichiro can still run.
Guy hits a ball like that, you want to be taller if you're fielding it.
About 7'8". Yankees have hit 1 grand slam all year, and that belonged to Teixeira for that short 2-week window. He was active with the big club. Here is Zoilo Almonte, who's given this team a little spark since coming up. Switch hitting 24-year-old outfielder takes a ball. Zoilo is 8 for 26 from the Dominican Republic. Wasn't considered one of their top prospects, but they had needed help, and here he is. Trying to put the Yankees out in front. He is up on the count here, 2-0. A lot of Yankee fans in attendance here tonight. See what he's done in the minor leagues since 2011.
A lot of the Yankee fans take the Acela, the Amtrak train, down to Baltimore. Huge weekend. Packed house every night.
Here's a 2-0. He went around on what could have been ball 3. A little anxious there in the count, 2-1.
You don't want to do this. This is a young man swinging at a ball out of the strike zone. And that counts in your favor. That's what it means. Make it be in your favor and don't go after bad balls. That's a swing you can understand with 2 strikes, but not 2-0.
That was a big strike for Britton. Now his 2-1. Back inside. It's 3-1. Three straight singles. And it's up to the rookie Almonte to try to put the Yankees on top here on a Saturday night. No Wells and Ichiro the runners. With 2 out. 3-1 pitch. Into right. Markakis is there, and he has to reach to grab it to end the inning. It took a while, but Britton gets through a scoreless first. And now the Orioles coming to the plate. They'll take on David Phelps after a half at Camden Yards. No score. Taco Bell, sometimes you gotta live Moss. Nate McLeod leads it off. He's in left, and Manny Machado, one of the game's brightest, bats second and third. Nick Markakis hits third. Adam Jones in center. Chris Davis, what a year, hitting .330 and leading the major leagues in home runs. Then it's Wieters the catcher, Hardy the shortstop, Dickerson the DH, and Ryan Flaherty's been hot, but he is about to lose his spot with Brian Roberts coming back tomorrow, the second baseman and typical leadoff hitter for the Orioles. Here's David Phelps, who has a record of 5-4, and the first inning is vitally important for Phelps. It's usually where he struggles. If he can get by that hump, he's tough to beat. Strike one. McLeod was the hero last night. He not only got the first hit for the Orioles in the 6th inning against Sabathia, but he got the game-winning home run. Here's the 0-1. Fly ball, left field line, foul ball, and a nice catch by David Adams, 1 out.
Put a star next to this one. That's a beautiful play by David Adams. ranging in foul territory and sliding to make the backhanded play. Nice.
So for a starter who struggles in the first inning, that's a nice out to see and
Good
support.
point. Yep.
And with one out, here is Manny Machado, who to me is representative of what this Orioles organization is doing these days. They're young, they're fun, they are electric, and there is nobody that's come along that's any more exciting than Manny Machado here with the Orioles since he came up last August.
And he's durable too. He's played all but 4 innings. He was ejected, his first ejection this year, on Thursday night by the home plate umpire, and he missed the last 4 innings. He is some player.
And he likes doubles.
Loves doubles.
So the most doubles through the end of June. We're getting to the end of June. He's 2 behind Edgar Martinez. That's not a double, but that's a single. And it's 1 on, 1 out. Machado is on to add to his .318 average. He trades in a bat for a base hit.
Yeah, and it's so irritating when a pitcher makes his pitch, as he did on Machado, trying to jam him. He does jam him, and the ball's not hit hard enough. Trickling up the middle. Good try by Nix. Base hit, Machado.
You really like this Oriole team, don't you?
I do. I would not be surprised if they end up in the World Series representing the American League.
I would agree with you, and it comes right from Buck Showalter, filtering its way down.
And Dan Duquette, the general manager, who has not gotten enough credit. Buck Showalter has, but not Duquette.
Neither's Andy McPhail, and we'll go through some of the moves he made with Ken Rosenthal as we go through this game. Here is Markakis, and he takes the ball down and away. Andy McPhail, one of the real good baseball men to be in this game over the past, 25, 30 years?
3 generations of McPhails have been in Major League Baseball.
There is Mr. Duquette. The eyes of Baltimore upon him, wondering if he can find starting pitching. There's a strike to Markakis, and it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Buck Showalter is a different manager, it seems, than he was when he was guiding the Yankees in the early 90s.
Yeah, he's still unconventional. He's always been that way. He's still got that charm of being unconventional, but he's learned a lot.
There's a pitch inside. I really think his time at ESPN helped him along to get to this position. I think he's having more fun. I think he enjoys being around these guys. He said, I'd love to hang out with my team if I wasn't their manager. But he lets these guys enjoy being at the ballpark. Here's a line drive down the left field line. It is stopped by Almonte in left. He made a good play near the line, and it's 2 on with 1 out for the Orioles here in the first. And here is Phelps right into first inning trouble.
That was a great play by Almonte, getting the ball quickly. Once you get to the ball quickly, that stops a runner. Just get the ball back in. Most runners can't determine whether it's a good throw or not, but quickness is essential.
So it's 2 on with 1 out for Adam Jones. And he has not walked since May 19th. Adam is hitting .297, 56 RBIs. That's the 7th best total in the American League, and he's got 2 on.
When you see a stat like that, you try to get him out with balls. It means he's swinging at a lot of balls out of the strike zone.
Left side and through. Here comes Machado. And the Orioles take a 1-0 lead. RBI Adam Jones. And he went up there ready to swing.
As he always does. One of the freest swingers in the game. A hanging slider that just crawls by David Adams. Made a good play on McLeod to start the game, but can't get to that ground ball, and the Orioles take a lead.
That ball was, what, a foot from ending the inning? Instead, it gets by Adams, and it's an RBI single.
That's the way it's been going for the Yankees.
And the batter now will be Chris Davis. This lineup is good. Their defense is good. Their bullpen is good. the one underbelly of this team right now has got to be considered the starting rotation.
The starters for the Orioles earned run average is next to last in the American League. Baseball, really. 29th.
Nobody's going, Tim, any better than Chris Davis. And who could have seen this coming? He's hitting .330. He's number 2 in the league to Miguel Cabrera and leads baseball with 28 home runs.
Loves the pitch down in the strike zone.
Picked up from the Rangers in 2011. The 1-0 pitch. In at the knees, a ball and a strike, and he is blossoming into one of the more imposing figures standing in the batter's box that MLB has to offer right now. And he loves to hit with guys to drive in. Knocked in 74. Inside, it's 2-1. On deck is Wieters, but all eyes are on this matchup. David Phelps and Chris Davis. That is launched into left center field. There goes number 29. And it's a 4-run first inning for the Orioles here on a Saturday night.
Most low ball hitters are good off-speed hitters. And that's what that pitch was. A slider to Chris Davis, and the first inning woes continue for David Phelps. Ball hit a ton to left center field.
He's not getting cheated up there.
And again, I mean, the dimensions are short here at Camden Yards. Goes back to that the keys of the game. Camden Yards giveth and taketh away. He gaveth then.
That is 4 straight hits capped on the 3-run home run by Davis. He's now got 54 extra base hits. Through the end of June, the record is 59, set by Edgar Martinez in 1996. And Joe Girardi, we asked him how he keeps his positive attitude, and he said, our guys are working hard. We have what we have. We're injured. They've got over 1,600 career home runs on the disabled list. He said, I believe you have to, that eventually the hard work will pay off, but they're in a bad stretch right now. Here's Wieters into center right at Gardner, coming to get it 2 out. With the bases empty, the batter will be J.J. Hardy. And there's the stat Tim was referring to, updated now. They lead baseball in home runs. The Orioles, home runs hit, home runs allowed. The last team to lead in both, the Dodgers in 1950, before they traveled west.
Yeah, you can understand both parks. Ebbets Field, short dimensions, same thing here at Camden Yards.
Here's Hardy, ball 1. And just to finish with Showalter, I think his time in television gave him a chance to be around the game, but to stop grinding. I think he was known as a grinder with the Diamondbacks and with the Yankees before that. And now he's got his team, a young club with a ping pong table in the clubhouse, with a pool table in the clubhouse.
They're even thinking about getting a shuffleboard in the clubhouse.
I mean, it's right in the middle of the clubhouse. There's a strike. Hardy in the hole 1 and 2. And I said, was that something you would have allowed in your days with the Yankees? And he said, I don't know. I was never asked. Maybe I just gave the impression you shouldn't ask me about that.
Under George Steinbrenner, I can answer that question for him. No.
With 2 out, nobody on. Here's a little flip base hit into right. How about that? Here's a shortstop that's known as a power hitting shortstop, and he just flicked it into right.
That's good hitting. You can see Romine sitting outside. The pitch was outside, and if you're not thinking of going that way with 2 strikes, you're not going to get hits like that.
So Hardy is on with 2 out. Here's Chris Dickerson, who's been pretty good this season with his playing time. 4 home runs, 11 RBIs. There's a roster spot in play here with Brian Roberts coming back tomorrow. Ball 1 down and in as Romine stabs at it. Ball 1.
Chris, formerly with the Yankees in 2011 and 12, signed in late January with the Orioles, and the Orioles and Chris are both glad he did.
Hardy held on by Overbay and a 1-0 pitch. 2-0. It's always brought up with a starter who struggles in the first inning. Do you change your routine getting ready for a start? Do you go to the bullpen earlier? Do you go to the bullpen later? Do you throw more pitches in the bullpen? Do you throw fewer?
Well, we talked about rapid fire movement. He's not working as fast as he normally does. Saw that visit from Larry Rothschild, the pitching coach. I wonder if he was talking to him about that. Don't know. Obviously.
The number 8 hitter. Is at the plate for the Orioles. And that man, Dickerson, is up on the count here, 3-1. Flaherty is on deck. He's been hot. Phelps has had a long first. 3-1 pitch is hitting the gap in left center field. Hardy will take off and try to do it from first. They're going to bring him around and now hold him late. And it's a double, but no RBI or no play at the plate off the bat of Chris Dickerson. And Hardy almost ran through the stop put up by Bobby Dickerson.
Chris Dickerson hit it, and Bobby Dickerson waited to see if Gardner was going to come up with the ball or not. That's why he held him late. He allowed Hardy to round the bag, knowing the relay throw is going to come home. He held him late, and a lot of third base coaches do that. That was really a good play. He would have been out at home, even though there are 2 outs.
And now Ryan Flaherty, who is hitting .480 since June 18th, 3 home runs. Takes a strike over the outside corner. Already been a 27 pitch first inning for David Phelps. That's out of play, strike 2.
You can check out the base running of J.J. Hardy, who's not a fast runner. He looks like he's fast, but he's not a fast runner. So Bobby Dickerson, seeing what Brett Gardner was trying to do, and then once he came up with the ball, he ends up holding J.J. Hardy around third base. It was a right play.
0-2 the count on Flaherty. As the Orioles send 9 to the plate in the first inning, and Romine stops that pitch down and in. Just to finish with Showalter, he said, I like doing stuff like that. The ping pong table, the pool table in the clubhouse. I like our guys to take batting practice in shorts. I like to make the other team jealous. Now, hot day, and it was warm earlier today. Sun was hot down there in the field here at Camden Yards, and these guys can take BP in shorts if they want. Second and third, 2 out, the 1-2. Got him looking in the end of a long first inning for David Phelps. More of the same. And this guy is leading the world in home runs. He's got 29. An emerging superstar, Chris Davis. Taco Bell, sometimes you gotta live Moss. The Inner Harbor here in Baltimore.
What a job they have done. Beautiful.
And this ballpark, which opened in 1992, really helped revitalize this area.
No question.
Here's David Adams. Yankees had 3 hits in their first inning but didn't score a run. The Orioles had 6 hits in their first inning and scored 4. 3 of them off his bat. A 1-0 pitch. Britton working with a 4-run lead is behind on the count to Adams, hitting 186. 2-0. So David Adams is playing third. The typical third baseman for the Yankees is Alex Rodriguez. And maybe the first time we hear from Kenny Rosenthal tonight, we'll let him wade into the Alex Rodriguez mess that swirls around the Yankees and came to a crescendo this past week thanks to a tweet. What a play by Machado. Wow, what an arm, one out.
He can do it on both sides of the ball. 2 steps to his right, backhand, nice play.
He's still got the body that looks like he could handle shortstop. That's what he came up really playing, but well, he can handle third base.
Turns 21 years old on July 6th.
You say that with such envy in your voice.
There's some of that.
With 1 out, nobody on, here's Lyle Overbay. I don't think people remember that Manny Machado was part of the Futures game last year during the All-Star week in Kansas City. And who knew the future was immediate, basically, with August 9th. They've called him up, and he's played every inning since, except for his ejection. The innings he missed on Thursday night. Here's a base hit by Overbay. And it's 1 on, 1 out. So we talked about Alex Rodriguez. Our great reporter down on the field is Kenny Rosenthal. And Kenny, it's all on the board. I don't think anybody can handicap what's going to happen with regard to him coming back, retiring, being punished by baseball. What do you see happening?
Well, Joe, the questions that matter are these. When is he coming back? How effective will he be when he comes back? And will he be suspended? Now, Major League Baseball has been interviewing players connected with the biogenesis scandal. A lot of people in the game believe that A-Rod and Ryan Braun both will be suspended. But at this point, neither has been interviewed as far as I know.
Be quick, Kenny. Yeah, we'll pick it up next inning. Double play. Hardy. Flaherty. Davis. Let's go to the bottom of the second in Baltimore. 4-0 Orioles. Bottom of the second inning rolls in. David Phelps back to work. We were talking with Kenny Rosenthal about the Alex Rodriguez situation, and it was ramped up, this drama, this never-ending drama with Alex Rodriguez and the Yankees and public reaction when he tweeted that he got the green light from his doctor and he's ready for games, and then that elicited a pretty hot response from Brian Cashman, the general manager, telling him, in essence, with one other word mixed in, to shut up. And so the question is, when will he go on a rehabilitation assignment coming off that second hip surgery as McLeod grounds out to Cano, one away? And as Kenny said, he's a guy in his late 30s with 2 hip operations, and the production hasn't been there for the past couple of years. So what are they getting back? We know this: whatever they get back, they'll get more production out of that position, third base, than they're getting right now from David Adams or anybody else who plays there, with Euclid on the disabled list. Kenny, we heard you bleed in a moment ago, so we'll throw it back down to you. Do you have any more on it as Machado stands in?
Well, keep in mind, Joe, if he gets suspended, he almost certainly will appeal, and this process could drag on for the better part of the season. Now, what's interesting is the question about, will he ever play for the Yankees again? Now, it's difficult to imagine, almost impossible to imagine them getting out of the contract. Baseball has a disciplinary system in place to deal with players who are suspended, and it does not involve voiding contracts. It involves what is listed in the joint drug agreement. That said, there are a lot of people in the game who are openly skeptical that if he's suspended, he will play for the Yankees again.
What about insurance, Kenny?
That's a complicated question, Tim. And basically, the Yankees are not going to be able to commit insurance fraud to get Alex Rodriguez off their roster. So it's a factor in all of this, but I can't see them, or I can't see Alex retiring, collecting his money, the Yankees collecting insurance, and everybody saying, hey, this is a great outcome for all.
Yeah, that seems a little too easy, and it keeps getting reported. Then there was a report during the week saying that Rodriguez wanted to come back so he could prove that he couldn't play and then retire before there's any discipline handed down by Major League Baseball. That seems to be one school of thought. But let's say this: Alex Rodriguez, and he gets a reaction when you bring up the name. I think any superstar in this day and age does get that kind of a response, sometimes more positive than negative. Sometimes the public opinion is split. Here's a 2-2 pitch. But in his prime, Tim, this was a shortstop. He's got just under 650 career home runs. Right. Is to be regarded as one of the best players, even with all the drug stuff surrounding his career.
I think Ken brought it up this week in an article for Fox Sports, and it was about the effectiveness of Alex Rodriguez. And the same goes with Derek Jeter. Everybody is convinced that
there's Machado with a ground ball to Nix.
That they'll be effective as they used to be. That is not a given.
2 out, nobody on, with Markakis walking to the plate. Nick Markakis hitting .281 when he stepped in the first inning. He got a base hit after Machado's hit. Then Adam Jones with an RBI hit and a 3-run shot by Chris Davis. And this lineup can keep coming at you for the Orioles when you've got a shortstop hitting in the 7 spot, who's hit 134 home runs since 2007.
And is an all-star selection, voted in along with 3 other Oriole regulars, one of them at the plate.
How about that last item? Can balance a folding chair on his chin. Nick Markakis.
That's a thick beard that can do that.
Yeah, would help.
A broomstick and a folding chair.
1 ball, 1 strike. For a guy who played in the Olympics in '04 for Greece, he takes outside. It's 2-1. 4-run first, 2 ground ball outs by McLeod and Machado here in the second. That is inside, 3-1. Phelps 5 wins, 4 losses, an ERA just over 4, but he's had a good June, an ERA of 2.66. A rough first inning tonight is 3-1. His fly into left should be handled by Almonte, and it's a 1-2-3 second after the Orioles batted around in the first. Third inning rolls in. 4-0 Baltimore. Back after this from your local Fox station. Presented by Ace Hardware. Beautiful night in Baltimore, Maryland, and this ballpark is packed. Standing room, over the wall and right, out in center, out in left center, over the bullpens, and in one of those bullpens, typically, and later tonight, you will find number 29 for the Orioles, Tommy Hunter, who went 2 innings last night, got the save, and when you go 2 innings on a Friday night, you get a save. Well known throughout baseball circles that the next night when Fox shows up, they want to talk to you, and they get to talk to you live during a game. And already I see somebody throwing seeds at your head, Tommy, as we begin our interview.
That happens.
Yeah, I mean, at least it's high comedy down there in the dugout. How you doing? How you feeling after 2 innings last night?
I'm good. You know, just normal. Just came in, get a little massage from a nice masseuse in there.
That's the life of a reliever. That's the life of a big leaguer.
Yeah, it's all good, though. He did go.
Here's a strikeout of Gardner to start the inning. And for Tommy Hunter, you're out there watching your starter, Zach Britton. For any pitcher, getting 4 runs in the first inning is nice. But, boy, you'd like to get this guy rolling, wouldn't you?
Yeah, he came out strong his last outing. You know, kept the ball down, keeping guys off hitters. And, you know, he threw well. Hopefully he keeps it going. He's throwing well right now. Had a couple rough breaks, looks like, in the first, and you know, he's pretty good. He's got a good movement on his ball and throws pretty hard.
It seems like being around your team when we've had you a couple times this year, you guys have about as much fun as any big league club that we come across during any weekend, and it seems like that comes from your manager on down.
Yeah, he keeps it loose. We have some fun little games in the clubhouse. Ping pong's pretty big right now. Everybody's still trying to take down JJ Hardy.
He's the king?
He's pretty good.
Is he the guy that like steps back off the table and can hit it?
No, he actually stays right on top of it. I mean, you're lucky to score 5-6 points on him.
Really?
Yeah, it gets embarrassing. I don't even like playing him anymore.
So he's like the Forrest Gump of Major League Baseball.
Yeah, it's Bobby Fischer, whatever you want to call him.
Tommy, what about the pool? Who's the pool shark down there?
Billy Castro, our bullpen coach, him and Wayne Kirby go at it pretty good. They put some good English on the ball, but players-wise, I'd probably have to go with Hamill. Hamill pretty much controls the players on the pool table.
Here's a line drive foul down the left field line. Buck Showalter said, "I still can't get used to sitting in my office, listening to the crack of pool balls going on out beyond his door." But he's not fighting it at all. And I said, "Is this something you would have welcomed when you were with the Yankees?" And as Tim said, Mr. Steinbrenner might have shot that down, but he said, "I don't know. Nobody ever asked me." So it seems like you guys might be able to do a little more than you think if you just ask.
Yeah, I mean, I heard a shuffleboard, maybe the little basketball game with the 2 basketball hoops. I heard all that's coming in. We're getting a couple more team fines coming through.
It's turning into a Chuck E. Cheese down there.
Yeah, that's right.
No foosball, though, right, Tommy?
No, none of that.
He's worried about your wrist.
Turning the wrist. It's a game of wrists. I mean, you can't really do that, but. The pool table. There's a lot of balls flying around in that clubhouse. I'll tell you that much.
Here's one flying down the left field line off the bat of Jason Nix, and that is a double with 1 out here in the 3rd inning. Your bullpen takes a lot of pride with how good you are. You're very diversified bullpen, and you're anchored by Jim Johnson at the back end of it. But man, you have a lot of good arms in front of you.
Yeah, we do pride ourselves on it. We pride ourselves on coming out every day and being ready to throw every day. Buck does a great job of keeping us as fresh as we can be. He does a great job. We don't get up unless we're going in most of the times, and we've got a lot of weapons out there. And Gosman coming in last night was pretty nice. Saved us a lot. So he's coming on strong. Darren O'Day's doing his thing, and then Jim at the end of the game. It's pretty fun to watch, when you don't get in, but it's just as fun when you get in and you contribute.
Here's a ground ball off the bat of Cano over to third as Nix the 2 out. How about pitching in this ballpark? You guys have given up a ton of home runs here. You've hit a lot, but can you let this park get into your head? Do you try to keep it out of there?
Oh man, just play baseball. If the ball goes over the fence, it goes over the fence. You got to move on. You got to go to the next pitch. Because these guys, the thing is with us, just keeps this team close enough to where they can, come back. 3-4 runs with these guys, our lineup. It's, we can hit the ball. So that's pretty much our mindset. Get these guys into the dugout as quick as you can, and if you give up a couple runs, it's all right. These guys are they got our backs. So it's a fun team to play for, I'll tell you that.
Here's a pitch up and away with a runner at third, 2 out with Vernon Wells at the plate. Here's the last question, then we'll let you go. Who was the main part of the trade in 2011? You or Chris Davis? Okay, I guess that answers that.
No, man, that guy's on a tear.
Unbelievable.
It's pretty ridiculous. It's you get that pick to click a day when somebody picks a hitter. It's sometimes not even fun if you pick Chris. You just have to pick somebody else because he's been crushing the ball lately. Our video guy said he was going to hit a home run in the first inning. And, it's almost comical.
Quickly, Tommy, to finish this up, did you foresee that with Chris Davis in Texas?
Yeah, man, that guy's he's legit right here.
There you go. Another scoreless frame put up by Zach Britton. Tommy, thank you.
No problem, guys. Have a good one.
Tommy Hunter, part of a very good bullpen here in Baltimore, and the Orioles, a very good ball club, trying to gain a game on the Red Sox in the AL East here tonight. They lead 4-0. Davis coming up second in the bottom of the 3rd. 4-0 Orioles. 6. Adam Jones, Chris Davis, Matt Wieters against David Phelps, who allowed 4 runs on 6 hits in the first inning, had a perfect second. We'll try to get through these guys a little better here in the third. There is a strike to start the third inning. 4-0 Orioles. Adam Jones with an RBI single now has 57 RBIs. And he grounds to Nix. 1 up, 1 down. And with Chris Davis walking in, we'll give you a little bit of his history. 50th round draft pick by the Yankees. Back in 2004, did not sign. Was with the Rangers from 08 through 2011, hit 248, 42 home runs. Picked up by the Orioles along with Tommy Hunter, who we just visited with for Koji Uehara. And now this year, after being picked up in 2011, those numbers coming in, he's now got 29 home runs, 77 RBIs, and he's hitting .332. Here is a strike from David Phelps, and you heard Tommy Hunter say you could see it coming. Obviously, the Rangers could not. And what a pickup by the Orioles. This organization. We talked about Andy McPhail. He was in charge back then. Ken Rosenthal is with us, and this is one of a few big deals that carries on to an impact today put together by Andy McPhail.
Right, Joe. And initially, the Rangers only wanted to trade Tommy Hunter for Koji Uehara, but McPhail insisted upon Davis, and here's how he got it done. He traded Derek Lee, who was with the Orioles at the time, to the Pittsburgh Pirates. That cleared $2 million, also cleared first base. Then he took the $2 million in savings and included it with Uehara to get Davis and Hunter. The Rangers had wanted a pitching prospect along with Uehara, but they wound up accepting the deal that the Orioles proposed. And at that time, John Daniels, the Rangers GM, said, we know Chris Davis has a chance to really become something special, but he just hadn't made it happen there.
So he gets a change of scenery, and now you're looking at a guy who is right there in the Triple Crown categories, and only the large presence of Miguel Cabrera standing in his way in the average department. Nobody's in front of him in home runs as he takes a 1-out walk.
Well, the one thing Chris Davis is doing this year that he didn't do 2 years ago is using the lower part of his body. And that home run, a great example from our low third camera. Look at the lower part of the body and using his core to hit. I mean, it's funny, guys obviously hit with a bat that's held in the hands, but the core is so vital to hitting. You look at the great hitters over the years, Mays, Aaron, Frank Robinson, guys who use the core to hit.
He's also showing more discipline at the plate, walking more this year. As you said, he's improved his work defensively. This is a Baltimore club that's committed only 25 errors as a team, by far the fewest in baseball. Here's a broken bat, base hit into left field off the bat of Wieters, and Davis will stop at second. A walk, a hit. Phelps back in trouble. Now in the third, Matt Vasgersian at the MLB Network studios. Coming up with a game break.
Joe, the Tigers hit 3 home runs to beat the Rays last night, and they're at it again on the board for their first tonight. Austin Jackson's 4th of the year. Detroit trying to win for the 16th time in their last 21 tries in St. Pete. Back to you and Tim.
All right, thanks, Matt. And if you haven't looked in a while, the AL Central, the lead for Detroit down to 2 at the start of the day, with the Indians hot on their trail. So 2 on here, 1 out. 4-0 game, and the batter is Hardy.
In Detroit, with that powerful lineup, the biggest problem that they have now is the problem they had before the season started. How do you get someone to close the game? How do you get in that position and then have a guy in that 9th inning to come in and do the job?
Ball 1 to Hardy. Valverde has been sent packing. He's back in the organization trying to iron things out. That team that is just loaded. And the difference from a year ago, after representing the American League in the World Series, is they have Victor Martinez back. So that lineup is as good as any you'll find. The rotation is good. Max Scherzer's 12-0.
Won his 12th last night. I think it's that the Detroit Tigers have the clearest need with the deadline coming next month, at the end of next month, July 31st, the clearest need for a guy of any major league team, and that's a closer to wrap things up for a very good team.
There's Max. Won number 12 last night, 12-0. The first pitcher since Roger Clemens in that great year of '86 to start a season 12-0. And they lead the AL Central. Hardy flipped the base hit into right his first time, and with a count 3-0, Phelps finds a strike over the outside corner. Hardy 67 home runs since the beginning of 2011. A good player. Former Milwaukee Brewer. That is ball 4 to load him up. 2 walks with a hit in between in this inning. The bases are loaded for Dickerson. Chevrolet is the official vehicle of Major League Baseball, and they're celebrating a new season for new memories, for your chance to win a community field makeover and an all-new 2014 Impala. Visit ChevyBaseball.com. There's Larry Rothschild, his second visit of the game, and they will spring to action out in the bullpen. Ivan Nova, who could get a start next week in Minnesota, and is now obviously available out of the bullpen for Joe Girardi, is going to get loose. But there could be major damage done by the time he's ready for a lineup that just isn't scoring any runs, already in a 4-run hole.
Yeah, it's probably tougher for the New York Yankees to play catch-up baseball than most teams in baseball, certainly. There are a few that have a worse offense, but for different reasons.
Yankees have not come back from a 4-run deficit this season to win a ball game. Come back from a 3-run deficit 4 times. Bases loaded, 1 out. Dickerson takes a strike. Didn't like the call, spins out of there. Chris has 11 RBIs, doubled his first time up. Defense dead straight away. On the infield, hoping for a double play ball. The 0-1. Same spot, strike 2, and Dickerson could not pull the trigger. Never a grand slam in his opportunities in the big leagues. Bases loaded, 1 out. That's up the middle, off the glove of Nix. 1 run scores. Here comes another. It's a 6-0 game as Davis and Weeder score on a base hit to center by Dickerson.
That persistent bugaboo, trying to keep the ball off the fat part of the bat with the count 0-2. Just can't continue to pitch guys like it's 2-0 when it's 0-2. And that's the problem with a lot of young pitchers, and something that David Phelps will have to get used to doing. Instead of inside on the corner, move it inside 3 inches.
And now Flaherty with 2 on and only 1 out. That's down the left field line into the corner. It is foul.
Joe, I ran into Baltimore legend Jim Palmer last night, and one of the great lines that I worked with Jim for 7 years at ABC years ago, but one of the great lines that Jim had about pitching is to get ahead with strikes and get hitters out with balls. And that's what he did, and that's one of the reasons he's in the Hall of Fame, with that remarkable ability he had. He was talking to Zach Britton about that last night.
Flaherty with 2 on and 1 out. That is a rocket into right. And gone. 3-run shot, Ryan Flaherty. And fun for the Orioles here on a Saturday night. It's 9-0 Baltimore. The second 3-run home run of the night for the Orioles. This one belongs to the red-hot Ryan Flaherty.
Joe Girardi has said all week, with all our injuries, you can't expect guys to feel sorry for you. And he was right.
And he's seen enough of David Phelps here tonight. 2 walks in the inning, 3 hits. 5 runs on the board to go with a 4 they scored in the first. Red hot Orioles, at least in this series, up 9-0 in the third. Nine 9-0 game into the bottom of the third inning, and that's it for David Phelps. 2 1/3. 9 runs, 9 hits, 2 walks, both in this inning, 1 strikeout, pair of 3-run home runs. Ivan Nova is into the game. Nova is coming off a good start. In fact, so good that they kept him around and want to basically go with a 6-man rotation for the time being as the Yankees play 20 games in 20 days. That breaking ball misses down and in. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Nova on Sunday lost to Tampa Bay 3-1, but he went 6 2/3 and pitched pretty well. 2-2.
Well, the Yankees are simply going through one of the more tortuous periods in their recent history. Since that remarkable success, 1995, when Buck Showalter was the manager, they were a wild card entry, famous Seattle Mariners series. They lost in 5 games, and then Joe Torre took over. I'll tell you, it's tough right now. And to see a guy like David Phelps, who gave up 9 runs, 9 earned runs in 2 1/3 innings, ERA, can't get it back down for the rest of the year. Forget it. It's gone. Skyrocketed. And to see him out on the bench is the way that the Yankee team has handled all adversity this year.
Here's a high fly ball off the bat of Machado into left center field to end the inning.
And to wrap it up, Joe, they deserve a lot of credit for that.
Well, he watched the end of the inning. Nova came in and got the next 2. Big damage. 5-run frame, 9-0 Baltimore after 3. Weather could not be better here at the end of June in this ballpark that opened in 1992. You and I have been back here for a while, but man, you walk into this place when it's empty, when we show up a few hours before the game, or now when it's packed, and
it's fun.
It is a fun park. And these Orioles, this young, exciting team, watching Zach Britton drop a breaking ball in for a strike to Ichiro to start this 4th inning, up 9-0. Here's an 0-1. 0-2. Ken Rosenthal, I see him down there. He's got his jacket off. He's got his shirt on, his little bow tie. And what do you think? What are the odds of this Baltimore team adding a starter here as we go toward the trading deadline?
Joe, they're certainly going to try. They need to try. They don't really have an ace. I would say they don't even have a legitimate number 2, except maybe Wei-Yin Chen, who is on his way back. This is a team that isn't especially deep in prospects. They don't have the money to go get someone like Cliff Lee if he becomes available, but they clearly know that to get where they want to be, if they are truly going to be a postseason type team, they need to get at least one more starter.
You hear the names like Garza, Nolasco, Cashner if he's available. I don't understand why he would be available by San Diego. Here's a line drive caught by J.J. Hardy. He hits home runs, he plays ping pong, and he takes hits away diving to his left.
Full extension, web of the glove.
Took all he had, and with 1 out, nobody on, the batter will be Almonte. Zoilo lined out to right, hit it pretty hard with the bases loaded, 2 out in the first, up on the count 3-1. Yankees left the bases loaded in the first inning, and then the Orioles put up 4. Then 5 in the third, lead 9-0 in the 0-1 pitch, left side, Hardy. Routine for him, 2 out. Let's go for a game break. Here's Matt. The MLB Network studios.
Joe, Brewers and Bucks. A half inning after Milwaukee failed to score despite a leadoff triple, Garrett Jones connects on his 7th of the year. The Bucks are hot, Joe. Best record in baseball, trying to extend their longest winning streak in a decade to 8 in a row. Back to you and Tim.
Yeah, it's been lean, Matt, since the early 90s with Jim Leland. I think the last winning year was 1992. And so here they are after collapsing in the second half each of the last 2 seasons. We talked about this last week. It doesn't seem like that's in front of them again. It looks like they are legit. Who knows about the best record, but they're a team to be reckoned with here in 2013.
How about Garrett Cole? All 4 career starts. The first Pirate pitcher, he's only 22 years old, to win his first 4 games in the major league since 1907. Pedro Alvarez from New York. He's from Washington Heights. And after a slow start, he's getting hot. Winning contagious for the Bucks so far.
And you can add one more to the hitting streak for Pedro Alvarez. They're playing, as we just heard from Matt Vasgersian, he just added to his hitting streak. So he's hot. Their bullpen is good. Mark Melanson setting up Jason Grilli, who has out of nowhere become one of the best closers in the game. Here's one in right. Markakis, a long run, a 1-2-3 inning for Britton, who is doing what he should. Up by 9, throwing strikes, getting outs. Bottom of the 4th inning, Yankees will take the field down by 9. Inning leading 9-0. Nick Markakis first up. He's 1 for 2. It's Markakis, then Adam Jones, and Chris Davis against Ivan Nova. He's trying to reestablish himself after getting sent out.
Got several years ago, won 16 games for the Yankees.
He shipped out on May 31st. ERA over 5. He went down and went 2-0. ERA just over 2 in 3 starts, and now he's back. And he needs to talk to his catcher, Austin Romine. Tonight against the Yankees, the Orioles have been to the plate 21 times. Reached base in 11 of them. Scored 9. Hit 2 3-run home runs, and they've been good with runners in scoring position. That's outside. The count 1 ball 1 strike. Markakis has been a solid big leaguer, 280 or better each of his first 7 years in the big leagues. Here's a 1-1 line drive, base hit, left field, and the leadoff man is on, surprisingly enough, for the first time tonight for the Orioles. The All-Star Selection Show presented by Taco Bell is next Saturday at 6:30 Eastern on Fox. Then All-Star Weekend kicks off with a Home Run Derby on Monday, July 15th on ESPN. On Tuesday, the All-Star Red Carpet Parade will be on the MLB Network. And then it's the Midsummer Classic on Fox, 7:30 Eastern in New York, 2013 All-Star Week. Here is a pitch up and in to Adam Jones. Ball one.
And the hot topic around baseball is whether the fabulous Yasiel Puig of the Dodgers should be an all-star. He is so hot, batting what, 425? You and Ken and I disagree.
That's right. Ken and I don't.
No, I know.
The two of us disagree with you. Here's a foul backing out of play. Off the bat of Adam Jones, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, Puig was called up on June 3rd. That was his debut. He has set the West Coast on fire. The Dodgers are only 6 games back. They've won 6 of their last 7. Throttled by the Phillies last night, who scored 16 runs to beat them.
Hit over 500 during the spring. And he was called up from Double-A. He appears finished with minor league baseball. Here is a pitch inside, and the count 2-1 on Adam Jones.
That seems like a simplistic comment, but you're exactly right. I'd have to say the odds are with that.
The Dodgers gave him $42 million based on watching him take batting practice.
They were right. Whoever watched that day.
Here's a double play ball to Nix. Cano. Base is empty, 2 out. So I go on foxsports.com and I see Ken Rosenthal write a piece about Yasiel Puig being an all-star. You think he should be. I say why not. Tim says no way. Go ahead, Kenny.
Joe, I just don't see an all-star selection as this sacred honor that some people make it out to be, and I'm not talking about Tim. Basically, here's what we have. An election of the starters by the fans. That can be a popularity contest. We have the rule that every team must be represented. You see some undeserving all-stars that way. And then you have 34 members on each team, 68 in all. That's before the injury replacements. So by the time we get the injury replacements there, we're basically talking about 1/10 of all major leaguers, about 75 of 750, as all-stars. If that's the case, to me, Yasiel Puig has to have a place in the game.
There you go, Tim. Those are good numbers. Right?
Well, it's not a sacred place unless you're the guy who's replaced by a guy who came up June 3rd. That would give him 5 weeks in the major leagues to be an all-star, and that's not enough time, in my view.
Here's a line drive caught by Adams, the third baseman. David way off the line, and Nova faces only 3 in the 4th. Let's go to the 5th. 9-0 Orioles on top. 5th. Zach Britton looking for his second win. He's been on a nice little run. Britton was called up on June 18th, and over his last 7 starts, including work at the minor league level. Here's a fly ball to McLouth. He's back to grab it. 1 pitch, 1 out. Overbay is gone. Britton, last 7 starts, including 5 at Norfolk. He is 3-2, ERA of 2.4, and he's leading 9-zip here tonight. Today's telecast, presented by Ace Hardware, is sponsored by MasterCard, preferred card of Major League Baseball since 1997, and by Chevrolet. Find new roads. 1 out after 1 pitch, and here is Austin Romine, the catcher, batting 9th, takes a ball. With 1 out, there's a strike. Do we need to be finished with the Puig conversation, or can we continue?
Keep going.
I think those guys are good for baseball.
Oh, I do too.
That
Absolutely.
would be my reason. He's one of the few guys that, since he's come up, as Romine grounds to J.J. Hardy, 2 out, that if you're at the ballpark, you don't go get a hot dog when he's coming up. You want to watch him hit. If you're at home watching on TV, you wait before you go to the party to see the next at bat. He can do everything. He's got a great arm. He can run. He can hit for power, hit for average, and he has turned what looked like a dismal season for the Dodgers with a managerial firing watch on Don Mattingly into something where they may end up in a wide open division, sneaking in there and grabbing that thing. I just think it's fun to see those guys when baseball is being celebrated.
It's fun unless you're the guy replaced on the roster.
Here's a strike to Brett Gardner, who struck out looking his last time up.
When you think about it, I mean, last year there was similar talk to Bryce Harper and particularly Mike Trout. Bryce Harper started the season with the Nationals, and Mike Trout was called up on April 28th of last year. But June 3rd, I just don't think that it's enough time to establish yourself as a guy who may fall flat on his face the second half of the season. I don't think that's going to happen. But still, it's just not enough time to be an all-star in my view. So.
2 out, nobody on. Here's a 1-1. Now in the hole is Gardner. There's some guys who you run across in the big leagues who say, don't give me a 9-0 lead. Don't put me up 12-2. They have a tough time focusing or making their pitches. Got Tim's eyes rolling.
I would disagree with that philosophy.
I've run into pitchers who've told me that.
I know it.
But it's some guys don't pitch well with a big lead, and my point is Zach Britton is.
My idea on that, give me the lead, baby.
I'll take care of the rest.
Yeah.
Baltimore, they've had all the fun tonight. They've taken care of the baseball and hit it out. Lead at 9-0 after 4.5. by Ace Hardware, sponsored by the 2013 Ford F-150 with EcoBoost. Bottom of the 5th inning rolls in. Ivan Nova has restored order for the Yankees. Gave up a leadoff hit last inning, but he's faced the minimum since coming on in the 3rd inning after David Phelps struggled. He lasted only 2 1/3. Now it's Nova. And here is a shot into right. Back to grab it. Ichiro, 1 out. As Wieters is now 1 for 3.
We talked about Yasiel Puig, and we haven't even seen him play yet.
Well, guess what, my friend? Next Saturday on Baseball Night in America, we'll be out in San Francisco for the Dodgers and the Giants, the Braves and Phillies, Mets, Brewers, White Sox and Rays, or the Astros and Rangers, starting at 6:30 Eastern. Starting with the MLB All-Star Game selection show. So we'll know the All-Stars next Saturday night, and we'll see if we can change your opinion on. And I know we won't, because I know you well enough over these 18 years that you are obstinate and tough to talk to, really, basically. 1 ball, 1 strike on J.J. Hardy.
Oh, come on. I'm mellowing.
You are.
I am.
Sure. You and Buck Showalter mellow.
Yes.
Here is a rocket down the left field line. Foul. Off the bat of J.J. Hardy, who is trying to reach base for the 3rd time.
Well, let me tell you something. It's not like I'm not going to show up at the All-Star Game if Puig's on there.
Okay. You're not going to boycott?
No, I'm not. No.
Marching out in front?
No. No.
It's only bad if you're the guy that was replaced by Puig. It's only bad. That's Steve Horn, by the way. Not many people get to see him on national television.
I would like to get a poll on the players, the guys in uniform and the coaches who think that Puig should be on the All-Star team. I bet you that 80% of the players would agree with me.
Okay. I don't doubt that.
You know,
I don't doubt that.
Which is really nothing. It's neither here nor there.
That's a good point. Here is Cano, who's moving to his right on the pitch and can't get back to his left to make that play. And Hardy is on base for the 3rd time tonight.
Now, I will say this too, Joe, and not to belabor it, but you know, from Puig's standpoint, I think it'd be good for the game. I think it would be great business by Major League Baseball to have him on the All-Star team. I just don't think he belongs there.
Okay. You have anything more down there, Kenny? Help me out. I have to sit next to him. Go ahead.
Well, I'm going to at least enhance Tim's perspective a little bit, because Bruce Bochy happens to agree with him, and he is the National League manager. And Bochy has been adamant in saying just what Tim is saying, that you have to be in the major leagues a little bit longer before you can be an all-star. Now, I would argue that the greater good of the game, having Puig there, is more important than the feelings of that one guy, especially because that one guy could be an injury replacement somehow in some other way. So that's where it stands. I would say right now, he's not going to be an all-star.
Dickerson flies to deep center. Backing up to get it is Gardner, 2 out. Maybe it's that ex-Major League catchers just don't like Yasiel Puig. Bochy, Carver. Look at Kenny's down there talking to Adam Jones. Look at you. You're down there talking to players in the ball game. What is going on? MLB's going to investigate.
Adam is saying that he is going to break the record for plate appearances without a walk. And he's asking me to check what the record is.
Adam Jones is asking you?
Yeah, he's asking me to check that. We're going to check it right now.
All right, good. Ask him if he thinks Puig should be an all-star.
All right.
All right. Report back. 1 on, 2 out. The batter is Flaherty, who hit a 3-run home run his last time up. This guy is hot. The problem for him is Brian Roberts is going to be activated tomorrow, and Roberts is in year 4 of a 4-year, $35 million deal, where he's played only 118 games. There's Kenny and Adam Jones.
Got an answer.
Okay. Here is a foul. 1 ball, 1 strike. What'd he say?
He says no. He says next year, yeah. But right now, you're taken away from somebody who's been playing for 2 months.
And well, there you go. That backs up Tim's point. And I don't disagree with you, because we had the same conversation with guys with Strasburg a couple of years ago.
Sure.
1 on, 2 out. 1 ball, 1 strike. Flaherty takes ball 2.
For those of you folks that may not know, the guy who came up the latest and was an all-star was when they played 2 all-star games in one season. One of 4 seasons back in 1961 when Don Schwall, who was to be the Rookie of the Year in the American League, came up on May 21st for the Boston Red Sox.
There's a foul out of play to even the count 2-2.
So Puig would easily be the latest pick, or a guy who came up the latest to be an all-star with only 5 weeks in the big leagues or so.
On deck is Nate McLeod. It's Manny Machado on the right, 20 years old. Adam Jones, who is locked in really and was signed to a deal to be the face of this organization, talking to him. Here's a ground ball base hit through the right side. Flaherty, another base hit. Stopping at second is Hardy, and he's there with 2 out. Flaherty is now 2 for 3 on the night.
Talking about the all-star game as this ball rockets by Overbay. I think Matt Harvey should be the starting pitcher for a franchise that is struggling like the New York Mets. I think for New York Met fans to have been as loyal as they've been, however few they are, in that city, with the game being played at Citi Field, he has 9 no decisions. He leads the National League in earned run average and strikeouts, and I think with a 7-1 record for a team that is really, really struggling, he should be the starting pitcher.
Totally agree.
Do you? Well, talk about that. He is something, though.
7-1 with 9 no decisions on a ball club that's struggling. Here is a line drive caught for out number 3, a throw anyway, and that is the end of the 5th. 2 hits. We're finished talking about Puig.
Okay.
Until the 6th. 9-0 Baltimore. Time falling on Baltimore, Maryland, where the Orioles 3 games out in the AL East.
That's what I'm talking about right there.
You'll be diving into one of those at some point later tonight.
Already have.
The Orioles lead 9-0 behind Zach Britton, as Jason Nick stands in to lead it off for the Yankees, and the Yankees trying to find something to feel good about tonight after losing last night 4-3 before Kuroda and Tillman, who's been a red-hot pitcher for the Orioles, hook up tomorrow night in the finale of this set. It will be Nix, Cano, and then Vernon Wells for the Yankees, down 9-zip. Ball and a strike. When it's 9-0, you can say hello to Lennon, a young man named Lennon who, watching out in Denver, Colorado, became a big brother earlier today, watching Fox Sports and watching this 9-0 game between the Yankees and the Orioles here tonight. His Rockies, Lennon's Rockies, started the day just 3 out in that wide open NL West, with Arizona leading San Diego by 2.5. 2 balls and a strike. Nix with a count of 2-2.
Bud Black's Padres have a little more offense this year. They've had good pitching. I mean, to find them after 80 games at the 500 mark, another good job with Bud Black, who really doesn't get the credit that he deserves in Southern California.
San Francisco's 4 out at the start of the day. The Dodgers 6 out. They had their 6-game winning streak snapped yesterday, but they're right in it. And they take on San Francisco next weekend, and we'll have that action for you here on Fox as part of our baseball night in America. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Nix, who has doubled and fouled out. Yankees have been shut out on 5 hits. They've stranded 4. And foul tip keeps Nix alive with a full count.
Talked about Colorado. What about Michael Kadyr's 25-game hit streak? Actually, he got another one today, I believe, and it's 26 as we speak.
A leadoff walk. So the Yankees have their leadoff man on for the first time tonight. Today's telecast presented by Ace Hardware, sponsored by the makers of One A Day Men's, the official multivitamin of MLB, and by Leinenkugel's Summer Shandy. Join us out here. Leadoff walk. Here is Cano, 1 for 2 on the night. Bounced a base hit through the right side in the first. Wells did the same. An infield hit by Ichiro, but Zoilo Almonte lined out to pretty deep right to end the threat. Cano went around. Strike 1. Eric Cooper, the third base umpire. Cano didn't agree. Jeff Kellogg is working the plate. Paul Schreiber at first. Adam Hamari is at second. As MLB starts to filter in more and more young umpires. Newer names as we go through 2013. Here is a base hit left side. Cano fought it off and got it between Machado and the bag, and it's 2 on with nobody out here in the 6th inning.
We mentioned it last week that the ineffectiveness, for the most part, of a very, very talented Robinson Cano this year has been left-handers pitching him inside, but he really fought that inside tailing fastball off to hit it to the left field. You have a nine-run lead. You have a leadoff walk. That's not good.
Yankees trying to jump back in it. Crazier things have happened. Not for the Yankees this year, but in this ballpark, who knows? Here's a fly ball into right center as Vernon Wells got under it. Jones back to grab it. Tagging is Nix, and he's now at third with Cano at first, 1 out. So Wells went after the first pitch, flied out. He's 1 for 3, and Ichiro will be the hitter. Suzuki 1 for 2. He singled in the first inning, chopping one off the plate, beating the throw from Britton. Then he lined out to short, and he was robbed of a hit by diving J.J. Hardy.
Machado back at third base. This is a situation where Ichiro has bunted in past years. The RBI is not as important as getting on base. see what he does.
Strike one. Ichiro actually very good against left-handed pitching this season, hitting .345. As he looks out at Zach Britton. He's trying to finally establish himself in this Orioles rotation. Fastball misses. It's a ball and a strike. Said it his second time up. It's worth repeating. 1.35 hits per game played for Ichiro, third best mark all time, behind guys named Cobb and Sisler. Here's a 1-1. Almost walked into it. Ball two. Nix led off with a walk. Cano a base hit. Vernon Wells flied out. Zach Britton trying to take the load off his bullpen. Pitch deep into this game, up by 9. Here's a 2-1. 3-1.
I don't know about that pitch selection. Breaking ball on a 2-1 count with a 9-run lead. A guy with a good eye. Got to make him hit the ball and play. Walks are no-nos when you have a 9-run lead.
Runners at the corners, 3 balls and a strike, 1 out in the inning, and a walk, second of the inning, end of the game. And for the second time tonight, the rookie Zoilo Almonte will bat with the bases loaded. Take a look at the Fox Sports 1 game summary as it is 9 o'clock straight up here in the East. It's presented by Fox Sports 1, America's new sports network, coming this August. Orioles got 4 in the first, 5 in the third, a couple of 3-run shots. Chris Davis hit number 29. He leads baseball. That happened in the first inning. And Zach Britton, who gets a visit from Matt Wieters as catcher. So far no runs, but he has worked his way into trouble here in the 6th.
Yeah, Zach Britton's last start, he had a 2-0 lead against Cleveland on Tuesday night. And Cleveland came and scored 3 runs in their half of the 6th inning. So the 6th inning has not been good to Britton his last 2 starts.
It's been a hurdle. Here is Almonte, and that's ball 1 outside. And now a visit from Rick Adair, the pitching coach. Britton lost that game 5-2 against the Indians. In his career, he's 1-3 against the Yankees. And time to slow down the 25-year-old left-hander. Help him find the strike zone. 2 hits, rather 2 walks and a hit here in the 6th.
Benjamin Hoffman in a New York Times article this morning it was very entertaining. Zoilo Almonte is the second Zoilo ever to play Major League Baseball. The other, Zoilo Versailles, the MVP for the Minnesota Twins in 1965 when they lost to the Dodgers in 7 games of the World Series.
There's a 1-0. Ball 2 as it goes up and around the strike zone. 2-0.
Funny that Zoilo in Spanish means life, and that's what Almonte's been trying to give to the Yankees, but so far not so.
Not tonight. Here's a 2-0. That's into right. Markakis makes the catch. Tagging is Nix, and the Yankees are on the board 9-1. Almonte hit it hard for the second time. He produces a run, and it's an 8-run game.
And here's one of those rare situations where he'll get handshakes from all the Yankees, but really doesn't deserve it, because the Orioles wanted an out, and he gets a sac fly, and everybody's shaking his hand, and you know, he did exactly what the Baltimore Orioles wanted him to do. Made it out.
But he produces a run. It's his 5th RBI. And now with runners at first and second, 2 out, the batter is David Adams. What a pick. At least a block by Wieters on that one that bounced in from Britton.
Tough play, good play by Wieters.
Picked it clean. Nix walked and scored. He walked to start the inning. A base hit by Cano. Another walk. That was to Ichiro. And now Adams takes ball 2. And Britton falling behind hitters here in the 6th inning. He has not done that for the most part tonight. Jair Jurgens, who was just called up, former Atlanta Brave, getting loose. 2-0. 3-0. Travis Ishikawa was designated for assignment. That's how Jurgens is here. He may find himself in this ball game here in a minute. Britton trying to get through 6. He's 3-0. 1. Left-handed hitting Lyle Overbay on deck, so even if Britton loses Adams, he may get one more batter. Here's a 3-1. We'll find out. Bases loaded, 2 out. 3 walks in the inning. And this could very well be the last batter for Britton, the left-handed hitting Overbay, who's 1 for 2 tonight. Get a 9-0 lead after 3 innings, and you know Buck Showalter here at the end of June is thinking we need and should get a light night for our bullpen. But that may not be the case, and Britton steps off. Only at 81 pitches for the night. Not close.
It's not that you do it, it's how you do it. Again, 3 walks, 9-run lead, inviting a multi-run inning.
Overbay can make this interesting with 1 swing, and instead he grounds to first. Davis kicks it. A run will score, and the inning continues.
Little in-between hop for Davis. Talked about him improving defensively, but that's clearly an error.
And it is just the 26th error committed by the Orioles this season. Hit him in the heel of the glove, and here is Austin Romine. Still no sign of Buck Showalter. The error continues the inning. And now here's Buck. And that's it. Jurgens just called up, is going to enter the game and deal with Romine.
There is nobody in baseball, in my view, that goes to the mound any more definitively than Buck Showalter.
Those little choppy steps.
There will be none of that how you feeling or anything. This is the move, and this is what's going to happen.
Romine will bat against Jurgens with the bases loaded, 2 out when we come back. been with the Atlanta Braves. There's numbers at AAA Norfolk. 14 games, 5-5 record. Was brought up today. Came up with Detroit briefly in 07. Established himself with Atlanta. And now Joe Girardi's going to counter with Travis Hafner, who's getting a lot of extra work before the game with Kevin Long, the hitting coach of the Yankees. Hafner with the bases loaded, 2 out. Takes a strike, and Jurgens did not come out of the bullpen firing fastball. There's Kevin Long, the Yankees hitting instructor, and they're trying to work on the issues that have plagued Travis Hafner, hitting just .222. Here's the next. That is on the inside corner, borderline pitch, and the count 0-2.
Outside corner, inside corner with the fastball. Little tailing fastball.
This could be a brief stay for Jurgens in the big leagues, with Roberts set for activation tomorrow. Hafner waits for the 0-2. That's over, but low, ball 1. Gardner would follow, but that's only if Hafner does something here with 2 out and the bases loaded.
And managers try to avoid it, but Hafner hitting, and Joe Girardi's going to have to put Chris Stewart behind the plate. So in effect, you're using 2 position players for 1 spot in the order. You try to get away from it, but you got to do it here. They don't have that many chances to score.
Here is a fly ball down the left field line, back into the corner. McLouth to end the inning. Didn't have a lot more room in left. Britton and the Orioles out of trouble. Jurgens gets the out. Bottom of the 6th. It's a 9-2 game.
Tigers and Rays. Johnny Peralta leads all American League shortstops in batting average and OPS, and may in fact be headed to a second All-Star game next month as RBI single gave Detroit a 3-0 lead. Now 3-2 Tigers in the 6th. Cubs and Mariners. It's that time of year when Alfonso Soriano's name starts to get kicked around in trade discussions. Still a Cub for the moment. His RBI single giving Chicago a 3-2 lead. Cubs trying to even the series after last night's come-from-ahead loss. As we send you back to Joe and Tim in Baltimore.
Thank you, Matt. It is the bottom of the 6th inning. Chris Stewart takes over. He is in the number 9 spot. Ivan Nova back to the hill. A couple of breaking balls have missed. The count 2-0 on Machado. It's Machado, then Markakis, then Adam Jones. If anybody gets on Chris Davis, who's homered tonight. Here's a foul backing out of play for Britton, the starter for the Orioles. 5 2/3 innings, 2 runs, 1 of them earned, 6 hits, 3 walks, 1 strikeout. Barring a huge comeback, he's on his way to his 2nd win of the season. Here's a pop-up for Ichiro. 1 out. Take a look at the Fox Sports 1 pitching comparison presented by Fox Sports 1, America's new sports network, coming this August. David Phelps could not get through 3, 9 runs on 9 hits, 1 earned run on 6 hits against Britton. As he just couldn't get through the 6th. The error behind him prevented that. Here's Markakis. Nick 2 for 3.
Seems like errors come after a pitcher allows 3 walks in an inning with a 9-run lead, or they're more apt to come.
Those were the only 3 walks of the night for Britton. First pitch, a strike from Nova, who's been good since coming on in the 3rd inning. Misses outside, ball 1. That's high and away, 2-1. In this series, the first 5 innings, that was compliments of CC Sabathia. From the 6th inning on last night, they have been ripping the baseball. 13 runs on 17 hits. And a very frustrated Sabathia is now 8-6 on the year, and the ERA over 4. Could not hang on to a 3-0 lead last night. 2-2 pitch. Still 2-2.
Earl Weaver, God rest his soul, loved 3-run home runs. Number 4 being worn. Earl the Pearl, he was a beauty, I'm telling you. And I told you I was going to tell you a story before the game that I didn't think you had heard. You may have. Earl Weaver's from St. Louis. And in 1943 or 94, as a 13 or 14-year-old, as he was born in 1930, he used to deliver dry cleaning of the uniforms for the St. Louis Browns. Earl Weaver told me that. And ironically, the St. Louis Browns moved to Baltimore in 1954.
Here's another base hit for Markakis, his 3rd of the night.
And that's how and why Earl Weaver is in the Hall of Fame as the 17-year-old manager of the Baltimore Orioles. That's a great tie-in, and I loved Earl Weaver. I just think Earl Weaver's one of the great historically animated managers in Major League history.
Over 1,400 wins. Won it all in 1970 when the Orioles beat Cincinnati. 5 times, had 100 or more wins with this Orioles franchise. As Adam Jones takes a ball.
I think the St. Louis Browns only went to 1 World Series, and that was against the St. Louis Cardinals in 1944.
See the number 4 in Earl Weaver's honor on the right sleeve of these Oriole jerseys. The 1-0 pitch, 1 on, 1 out. 2-0. Runner at first, 1 out. That's ball 3. Ken Rosenthal, did you look it up? Adam Jones was wondering the longest stretch without a walk.
Well, that streak could be in jeopardy for him. The longest streak since 1974, according to Stats LLC. Mariano Duncan, 325 plate appearances back in 94 and 95. Here we go.
There's a strike.
Thought it'd be swinging there. Keep it intact.
Count 3-1. Here is a 3-1 from Nova. Full count. And you have to believe if it's anywhere close with a 3-2 count,
leave his feet.
Adam is going to hack. 1 for 3 on the night. 166 at bats without a walk for Adam Jones. And he did come out of his shoes almost. The count stays full. 94 from Nova. Trying to battle back from the 3-0 count. Ivan got the 2 he faced in the 3rd coming out of the bullpen. Got a double play ball in the 4th. Got around 2 hits in the 5th. Trying to pitch around a 1-out hit by Markakis here in the 6th. 3-2. He went around and Nova fooled him with a breaking ball for out number 2 and the first strikeout of the night for Nova.
The ball out of the strike zone and a breaking ball and a fastball count. Jones goes too far.
So now Chris Davis, who has walked, hit a 3-run home run and lined out to short. Even the out was loud when he hit one to Nix in the 4th. Big swing and a foul straight back. 94 from Nova again. Here's the 0-1. In the air to right. Down the line. It is number 30. And his second of the night. Towering home run into right. And it's 11-2 Orioles here in the 6th. Home runs for Chris Davis as we play here on June 29th.
His first home run tonight was on a breaking ball. His last home run was on a breaking ball. That ball, you're right, Joe, that ball was as high as it was far.
Basically hit it one-handed.
Yeah.
The 0-1. Wieters at the plate. Ball and a strike. Here's another look. That's a rocket into right. That pitch was up and Wieters jumped all over it. He will hustle into second with a 2-out double. And now he's 2 out of 4. That pitch was up, led her high, and Wieters ripped it into right for a double. And there's the home run. It landed over the wall and right among those standing spectators here at Camden Yards. Here's J.J. Hardy, been on base 3 times tonight, 2 hits and a walk. Strike 1. Left side, Adams makes the play and the inning is over, but not before Chris Davis, who hit a 3-run shot in the 1st. Last a 2-run home run here in the 6th. He's got 30 on the year. 9-run game back after this from your local Fox station. hardware. As we move into the 7th inning, first pitch is a strike from Jurgens to Brett Gardner. Brett's 0 for 3. Started the night hitting .288. He'll be followed by Nix and Cano. Anybody gets on Vernon Wells, but it has been the Orioles show here tonight. That's upstairs, 1 ball, 1 strike. They've hit 3 home runs, 2 by Davis, and now hit 112 as a team to lead baseball this season. Davis has got 30. That is a foul ball, strike 2. This was an Orioles team that last year won the play-in game. It was one of the 2 wild cards when they beat Texas. A 5-1 game in Arlington. Then they lost to the Yankees in the division series. And as you said coming on the air, last year they thought they could win. This is a confident team, the Orioles, this season.
Yeah, I think that's worth bringing back too, Joe, because I think you can feel it in the city. I think the crowds have obviously so much to do with it. I think they have the confidence now in this team. Last year, I'm not so sure. They were getting it back, and I think the players were like that too. But this year, they walk with a different rhythm.
1-2 the count on Gardner. Little flare into left center field. That ball's going to drop. Takes a hop. McLeod gets to it, but with Gardner's speed, it's a double. I think last year, and then coming into this year, people looked at the record that the Orioles had: 29-9 in 1-run games, 16-2 in extra inning games, and they thought, well, it was kind of fluky. Maybe they're not that good. They are proving that it was no fluke. You don't win games like that without a great bullpen. And that group is good again here in 2013, and they are a year more established at the plate.
And as you and Ken alluded to earlier, they need a starting pitcher. I think they're going to get somebody, a quality starter, and spend the money. But boy, I'll tell you, for starting older pitchers costs a lot of money and a lot of talent, or two of the money and talent.
First pitch of ball after the double. Jason Nix is 1 for 2 with a walk and a double. There's a strike. Kenny, you spent a lot of years writing for this day-to-day operation here with the Orioles. What do you sense with the fans in this city with regard to this team?
Joe, before last season, they had 14 straight losing seasons. The people couldn't wait for some reason to come back. And now that they're back, the passion is really evident in a way that it wasn't evident in the early years of Camden Yards, when this place was a tourist attraction, a place to see and be seen. We used to joke about how it was a wine and cheese crowd. These crowds here, starting last year, continuing into this year, it harkens back to the days of Memorial Stadium, the old stadium, where Wild Bill Hagee was there and where the crowds were really into it. And it's just great to see the city come alive again for baseball.
The Orioles played in that park for 38 years. In their 22nd year of playing here at Camden Yards, which is hard to believe. Here's a 2-1. That's ball 3, 3-1. Buck Showalter's trying to squeeze as much as he can out of Jurgens, who could end up back in the minor leagues after tonight. Give the bullpen a break. You've got a 9-run lead at the moment. It's as big as their lead has been all night after the 2-run shot by Chris Davis. Here's a 3-1 to Nix. Full count. Now on deck with a light conversation with the fans in the front row right behind me. New baseball for Jair, who is trying to establish something here with the Orioles. Came on last inning with the bases loaded. Got Hafner on a fly ball to left. Just in front of the wall. Here is a 3-2 pitch. High fly ball down the line. Will it stay in play for McLeod? He is going to go as hard as he can, and it's out of his reach. And the Orioles, in a 9-run game, just thankful that McLeod is okay. But he plays the game at about 100 miles an hour.
Well, we talked about McLeod earlier, and we also talked about the All-Star game. How about that play he made in 2008 at Yankee Stadium? Last year of Yankee Stadium, in the 11th inning to Russell Martin, nailing Deoner Navarro at home plate. Just a brilliant throw and as good a play by Martin.
Here's a pop-up right side for Flaherty. 1 out. And here it is. Tim talked about it. 2008 All-Star game. Base hit up the middle, and he was with the Pirates then. He's been with Atlanta as well, and now he's with the Orioles, playing great. And that throw, good catch and tag by Russell Martin on the back end, kept that All-Star game tied.
He's such an approachable guy too. You and I were talking to him in the Baltimore clubhouse before the game, and we asked him if he's seen the tape of that many times. He said, for 3 years I didn't even look at that tape. He said, but I've seen it a lot since then.
He said whenever he needs a pick-me-up,
yeah,
if he's feeling bad about himself, he just throws on that highlight. He comes away smiling. Now with a runner at second, 1 out, here's Cano, who's 2 for 3. It's been a while since we've talked to Kenny about the contract situation with Robinson Cano. And you wonder, Kenny, in this day and age, with some of the long-term deals that have been signed by older players. Now, Cano's 30. If a 7-year deal is even realistic, whether it's the Yankees or anybody else would invest over that amount of time in any player at this age.
Joe, I'd be shocked if he got 10 years. 7 years might be realistic for him. I would think the Yankees would prefer 6, but 10 years, I don't know that that's going to happen again anytime soon. Of course, all it takes is one team.
Here's Flaherty to his right, 2 out. Over to third is Gardner. What's your sense? What's your gut? Do you think he stays with the Yankees? I don't see how they can let him get away.
I don't either, and that is my gut. But there is this team in Los Angeles. They spend a lot of money. They could use a second baseman.
They wear blue. That's the team.
They wear blue, and if he becomes a free agent, they will be a factor.
Here's Vernon Wells. And Wells gets into one down the left field line into the corner. It is foul, just foul, as Vernon came close to his 11th home run of the year. Vernon Wells, who has hit the skids since mid-May, has really handled himself well, with an intense spotlight shining on him and his at-bats. He has had a really rough June, hitting only 130 at the start of the night during this month. And he's basically lost his spot. He was pinch hit for by Travis Hafner during the week, and he's watching Zoilo Almonte get the starts tonight. He's the DH against the lefty Britton, who was the starter for the Orioles.
Almost every city is a tough town when you fail. New York City does not permit failure from the masses.
It's down and away, 1 ball, 2 strikes. This guy's been an all-star. Long-time Toronto Blue Jay. The deal to the Angels, that didn't work out. And then he looked like a steal through middle May. The Yankees got him late in spring training, but it hasn't been good since. Here's a 1-2. Runner at third, 2 out. Still 1-2. A leadoff double by Gardner. Nix popped up. Cano grounded out. Vernon Wells, who hit 6 home runs in April, 4 home runs in May, has not gone deep in June. Waits for a 1-2. 2-2. Brian Roberts will add a nice dimension to this Orioles lineup. He did play in 3 games this season before a severe hamstring injury shut him down. He'll be in the lineup tomorrow night. A strikeout ends the inning. And a scoreless inning as Jurgens gets around the leadoff double. Time to stretch at Camden Yards. Orioles on top, 11-2. Find new roads. You can go to MLBFanCave.com and pledge your NL or AL allegiance. As Nova goes back to the hill and drops a breaking ball in for a strike on Dickerson. He's had a 2-hit night, 2 for 3, with a 2-run single, a run scored, and a 5-run third. Couple of changes for the Yankees as Alberto Gonzalez takes over at third, and that moves David Adams to second, and Cano gets the rest of the night off. So Adams at second, Gonzalez at third. Trying to buy a little break for Cano in a 9-run game. Bottom of the 7th inning, 1-2 pitch. Nasty breaking ball gets Dickerson 1 out. That's the second strikeout for Nova. You're saying you can go to MLBFanCave.com and pledge your NL or AL allegiance. Don't miss the action of this year's All-Star game on Tuesday, July 16th at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, right here on Fox. So we talked a lot about Puig. We've talked about others, but it's a Baltimore Orioles team that could be very well represented in Queens on the 16th.
Could dominate.
2 out. Flaherty bounces back to Nova. And Ivan's pitched well, except for that 2-run shot by Davis. If the voting ended today, the Orioles would have 4 starters that never had 2 outfielders start in the same All-Star game. And the last 3 Oriole outfielders to start: Brady Anderson, Kenny Singleton, Frank Robinson. They also have Manny Machado, who I believe is second in the voting at third base.
Right. And he'll remain second, by the way, to Miguel Cabrera.
Here's a fly ball into left. Going to get it is Almonte. And the inning is over. Let's go to the 8th here in Baltimore. 11-2 is the score. Orioles on top on a Saturday night. America's new 24-hour sports network. Fox Sports 1 will be your home for great live sports, all the news and highlights you want, and shows and specials that only Fox could bring you. It debuts on August 17th. America's new sports network is Fox Sports 1. Jurgens back to work, getting valuable outs for that Orioles bullpen. Here's Ichiro with a line drive into right. Markakis has out number 1. Jurgens has now gone an inning and 2/3. He relieved in the 6th. The bases loaded. Got out of it. Got around to lead off double last inning, and now there's 1 out in the 8th. Here's Zoilo Almonte. Started out red hot. That'll get you a lot of ink in the tabloids in New York. 6 for 10 start. Got 2 hits since then. He has a sac fly tonight. He is behind on the count here 0-1. Monte's line to right twice, once with the bases loaded and 1 out. And went for a sac fly, but way back in the 1st, after 3 straight singles, he lined out to right. The Yankees had a chance to jump on top. Here's the 0-2. Ball 1.
Way back is where Chris Davis is parked to give him a total of 30 home runs on the year. Since this is a New York Yankee telecast included in the New York area.
There's a 1-2. Base hit in the gap. Left center field, and Almonte will dig for 2. Jones gets it back in, and Zoilo has his first hit of the night.
Maybe some folks are wondering about Roger Maris in 1961. And Roger Maris hit his 59th home run in Baltimore off of Milt Pappas. He hit his 60th home run against Jack Fisher and his famous 61 at the stadium in front of 23,000 people in Old Yankee Stadium. His 61st home run to break Babe Ruth's record. On this date, well, I should say after this many games, Roger Maris had 33 home runs, 3 ahead of Chris Davis. And in this ballpark, and with what Chris Davis has shown us tonight, he could break that record.
Maris back in 1961. Here's a base hit through the left side. Clout gets it back in. It's first and third, 1 out. As David Adams is on for the second time tonight. First hit. It's runners at the corners, 1 out for Lyle Overbay.
I guess to be more correct, he could break what was the record. Mark McGwire in 1998, then Barry Bonds later. Sammy Sosa was 66 in 1998. But those were tainted.
First and third, 1 out here. And Jurgens deals with Overbay. Ball 1 inside. Overbay is 1 for 3, singled. He's also reached on an error. Did that in the 6th. Here's a 1-0. Double play ball, maybe. Flip for out number 1 and on to first for the double play. And Jurgens gets around the double and the single. Bottom of the 8th inning rolls in 11-2. Orioles on top. Camden Yards opened in 1992, site of Cal Ripken breaking Lou Gehrig's consecutive games played streak. September of 95, hosted the 93 All-Star Game for Utah Street, the B&O Warehouse, and the most well-known place to eat in the park, Boob's Barbecue. What a night that was, September 6th, 1995, for the great Cal Ripken. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Nova's done a nice job at least saving the bullpen. He's allowed 2 runs. Since entering back in the 3rd inning, he was the guy who served up home run number 30 by Chris Davis, his 2nd of the night. 2-run shot in the 6th inning. Swinging at a pitch in the dirt is Machado, and he is out number 1 and strikeout victim number 3 for Ivan Nova. Today's telecast, presented by Ace Hardware, is sponsored by Budweiser. America's beer supports America's heroes. And by AT&T. Rethink possible.
That area right there is where Chris Davis parked that first home run, a slider from David Phelps. And then that towering drive off Ivan Nova in the 7th inning.
Adam Warren is getting loose. But Nova has done his job, shown good velocity. Strop, the right-hander, getting ready. Looks like he'll work in the 9th inning, and that's it for Jurgens. He did a nice job. Just called up and threw 2 1/3. There's a strike. And the count 0-2 on Markakis.
Find yourself hoping that Chris Davis will get up again just to see what he does.
Just to see.
Yeah.
A strikeout on another pitch in the dirt. 2 out. Why do we say that? Well, we'll give you the King play of the game. There are actually 2 of them, brought to you by Burger King, where taste is king. A 2-homer night for Chris Davis, who's now up to 30. If Davis gets up again, it will be courtesy of this at bat by Adam Jones. Or a 9-run outburst by the Yankees in the top of the 9th. Here's the 0-1 to Jones. If you're Nova, you know what's running through his mind. He's got a chance to reestablish himself here with the Yankees. He could strike out the side here in the 8th. He's done a nice job for Joe Girardi, as from the hole, long throw by Nix. What a play to get Adam Jones, and good work by Ivan Nova here tonight. What a nice play by Jason Nix as we go to the 9th. Orioles up by 9. is now catching. He's behind the plate. Taking over at second base is Alexi Casilla. And that shifts Ryan Flaherty over to short. So J.J. Hardy gets an inning off, as does Matt Wieters. And here is Pedro Strop, third pitcher of the night. Good velocity at 96 for strike one. It will be Stewart, Gardner, Nix. If anybody gets on, Alberto Gonzalez. Here in the ninth inning for the Yankees, who are staring at their fifth loss in their last 6 games. And they will miss a chance to gain ground on the Red Sox, who lost earlier today. The Orioles at the end of the night will be 2.5 out. Chris Davis is the hitting hero. Zach Britton was good, 5 2/3, 2 runs, 1 earned on 6 hits, 3 walks and a strikeout. And he'll go to 2-2 on the year. 2-1 from Strop to Stewart, who was at the plate for the first time tonight. Took over in the 6th. The number 9 spot, where Hafner flied to the wall in left with the bases loaded. The last real shot the Yankees had at climbing back in the game. And here's one into left. At the wall, it is off the wall, off the bat of Stewart, and a leadoff double.
Chris Stewart's first at bat of the night, hitting the base of the wall in left field. So leadoff double here. Pedro Strop, the WBC seems to be played 3 years ago. And it was only 3.5 months ago when Pedro Strop won 3 games for the Dominican Republic. They won 8 and won the WBC championship. Or is that redundant? They won the WBC, the World Baseball Classic championship. That's right.
I think it works.
Yeah, okay.
With a runner at second, nobody out. Here's Gardner, who doubled his last time up. 96 from Strop for strike one. Orioles have Strop down there, obviously. They also have Darren O'Day, the side-arming right-hander who's really tough. Tommy Hunter, who worked last night, got 2 innings for a save, is second in the big leagues. And their closer is Jim Johnson, who leads the league in saves with 27. That is slashed into the seats, and hopefully everybody's okay. In fact, Jim Johnson has the most saves since the beginning of last year across baseball at 78.
Yeah, even more than Mariano Rivera. Of course, Mariano didn't pitch last year.
Got hurt the first week of May. Shagging fly balls in Kansas City.
Yeah.
Here's an 0-2 to Gardner. Ball 1. We look forward and circle the date of the All-Star game every year and can't wait for July 16th.
Mariano Rivera, by the way, offered the chance to start the All-Star game and has refused. He said, I'm a closer, and particularly when it counts, whatever your feelings are about that. Mariano said, I'm a closer, and I close games. I don't start them.
Here's the 1-2. Ball 2. There was an online drive to have him start the game, and he shot that down immediately.
He did.
And the next quote was from Jim Leland, who said, well, he took me off the hook.
Yeah.
And he was relieved.
Yeah.
2-2 the count. Runner at second, nobody out for the Yankees, down by 9. There's a base hit into center field. Stewart will come all the way around and score. Digging for 2, and with an RBI double is Gardner. It's an 11-3 game. Back-to-back doubles by Stewart and Gardner as they switch places here in the ninth.
Brett Gardner, fun to watch run the bases. Gets his second double of the night. RBI number 30 on the year.
That's going to get the Orioles bullpen busy. It's an 8-run game, but they also don't want to wear out a reliever like Strop. Jurgens went 2 1/3, no runs, 3 hits, 1 strikeout. Here's Nix, ball 1. Jason tonight with a double, a walk, a run scored. Alberto Gonzalez is next. Remember, Cano was taken out. Get some rest, and Darren O'Day has to get loose. Buck Showalter probably thinking it's never easy. Doesn't matter the score. Here's one into right center field. It slices to Markakis. 1 out.
Yeah, especially in this ballpark. Very difficult to have a laugher here. Your laugher is more of a game like 11-8 or 12-10.
Orioles bullpen had a long night last night with a couple of guys, but they have the opportunity, if they want to run through a couple of guys, they can. They have a night game tomorrow night. There's ball 1 to Gonzalez. Picked up from the Cubs on May 9th. Waits for the 1-0 from Strop. Good fastball for strike 1. Gonzalez got the start last night, went 0 for 4. And a let's go O's chant from this packed house at Camden Yards. Runner at second, 1 out, 1-1 pitch. Ball 2. There are a lot of people left in the seats in what was a 9-run game at the start of this night. They love watching this team, and here comes a 2-1 from Strop. 2-2.
And they also realize
it's a foul ball.
They also realize how quickly a score can change, even though the Yankees only have 2 outs with which to do that. Come back from an 8-run deficit.
The Orioles have won 13 of their last 21 against the Yankees, after dropping 43 of the previous 56. They beat Sabathia last night. There's out number 2, a strikeout of Gonzalez, as the Orioles are now 1 out away from beating David Phelps and the Yankees here tonight. Here's Vernon Wells, 1 for 4. Backing out of play. If the Orioles win tonight, they will have won 5 of the first 8 between these two, with 1 more to go in this series. Tomorrow night, Hiroki Kuroda. But Showalter will counter with Chris Tillman. Should do it. Machado. Orioles win the first 2 games of this series tonight, a final of it 11-3. Britton gets the win. He's 2-2. Phelps takes the loss. He's 5-5. It was baseball night in America, presented by Ace Hardware. For Tim and Ken, I'm Joe. There's the final, 11-3 Baltimore. Now 2.5 out in the AL East.